friend, welcome back to Rocky Mountain Homestead. In today's video, I'm going to take you along and share with you 5 dry mix recipes that are perfect to have up on your pantry shelf this time of year. I'm going to share with you 5 of our family favorite cookie recipes, and this is just perfect to have in your pantry. Us as moms, I feel we're already busy to begin with, but this time of year, I don't know about you guys, but this is the busiest time of year for us moms. We're involved in so many different things. We're spread thin. We are present a whole lot more. There's a lot of weight, I feel, on our shoulders, and if I can make things more stress-free and make things a little bit more convenient for me, it definitely helps make things go smoother, and it is a really enjoyable holiday season when mama is not stressed. So I'm going to share these with you. These are great if you have kids that are starting to bake more. My kids bake from scratch, but I have some younger kids that are just now interested in that. These are perfect to have dry mixes ready to go where all they have to do is put together the wet ingredients. And this is also, if you have a busy mama in your life, a friend, family, this is absolutely a great gift idea to gift them with, especially if they have kids. You know, this time of year they're going to want to make cookies with their kids, and if you can give them the gift of convenience and less stress, I think that's the best gift I personally can get this time of year, is just less stress, less demand, and more convenience, so I have time that I can enjoy with my family and my kids in my home, and I don't have to be working so much. So anyway, with all that said, let's go ahead and jump into these dry mix recipes. Okay, for the first recipe, we are going to be doing gingerbread cookies. So I have 12 cups of flour in here. Into that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 4 tablespoons of ground ginger, 7 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ground cloves. And before I add my brown sugar, I am going to whisk these spices and everything into this really well and get it blended. Now that everything's whisked together really well, I'm going to add 3 cups of brown sugar that have been packed and leveled off. Now with the brown sugar, you can whisk this by hand. I have a KitchenAid, so I am going to take advantage of that and make things a little bit easier for me. I put on my whisk attachment, and I am just going to stir this until this is well blended. All right, and this has blended up beautifully. It is really nice, not clumped whatsoever. I'm gonna bring you actually into my lighting. Everything's blended really well together, and it smells delicious. Once again, you don't need a KitchenAid for this. You can just use a whisk, but I really like the KitchenAid because I feel that it blends everything really well together. Everything's clump free, and this is ready to go into a gallon jar. All right, this is a recipe that has been quadrupled, and it fits beautifully into this jar. This gingerbread mix is ready to go on the pantry shelf. And I do just want to say, before anybody jumps down in the comment section, in the description box, and a couple people in my last video had a lot of trouble finding the description box. The description box is underneath the title of this video. So under the video is the title, and then there's a button, or there's a word that says more, and you click the word more. And I try my best every video, because it's very time consuming, but I do try my best every video to type out everything. The ingredients, the instructions. I think the last pantry mix, I actually did a video and I made the dry mixes with you. So if you need further instruction, you can always do that. And I am going to be baking these up with you guys in the next video. And I'm going to show you how to use these dry mixes. So once again, I will have all the ingredients and the directions in the description box. But if you want further instruction, that's the point of why I'm making these videos. I will do the follow-up video baking these cookies with you and showing you step by step just how easy it is to use your dry mixes. Just wanted to say that before somebody says, how much of this do I use? Jump down in that description box. Everything will be written down. Next up is sugar cookies. We have 12 cups of all-purpose flour, 4.5 cups of granulated sugar. I also have a 1/4 cup of baking powder, and no, that is not a mistake. Last, 1.5 teaspoons of salt. All right, just for good measure, I'm going to use my KitchenAid mixer just to make sure this is blended very well. Once again, you can hand whisk, but if you have a KitchenAid mixer, it definitely saves you a little bit of time. All right, and this triple batch of sugar cookies just fit in this gallon jar. Next up is cocoa crinkles. I have here 8 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that I am going to gradually add 4 cups of cocoa powder. To that we are going to add 6 cups of granulated sugar. And to that I am going to be adding 8 teaspoons of baking powder, as well as 2 teaspoons of salt. All right, time to get this mixed up. And there we go. We have a quadruple batch of cocoa crinkles. All right, my dogs are now eating on the other side of the breakfast bar, so please don't mind the noise. They have no manners. So we are now on to chocolate chip cookies, one of our favorites. And we are going to start with 8 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. To that we are going to add 2.5 cups of granulated sugar. We are going to add 2.5 teaspoons of baking soda, as well as 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to whisk this up before we add our brown sugar. I am now going to add in 1 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Just because this has a little bit of moisture to it, really like to make sure all the really dry ingredients are incorporated well first. Let's get this mixed. All right, and this is 5 batches of chocolate chip cookies. We actually make 2 batches at a time. And just in case you did not see my other dry mix video, I'm going to link that in the description box below. But this is the easiest way, just using one of those canning funnels, and that way you have less mess on your counter and more mix in your bowl or your jar. Next is one of our favorites, molasses cookies. We are going to have our 8 cups of flour, and then to that we are going to add 3.5 cups of granulated sugar. To that we are going to add 2 teaspoons of ground cloves, 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, 4 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 2 tablespoons of baking soda. This one smells especially delicious, so I am going to get this mixed up and blended together. All right, and there is 2 batches of molasses cookies in this jar. All right, you guys, I hope this video was helpful. You guys, doing this is going to save you so much time this holiday season. And this is also great if you do smaller amounts for like a cookie swap or something, just ready to go on hand. There's so much going on this time of year, and it's so easy to kind of feel like you're struggling to keep your head above water. And yes, my tree's crooked. I'm looking through my camera. My tree's very crooked. It's been up for a week now, and I'm waiting for my husband to bring a ladder, and he's not bringing the ladder. So I might actually ask my fire chief if I can go by the fire station and snag one of our ladders at the fire department to get up there, because it's kind of driving me absolutely nuts, to be quite honest. Anyway, sorry, squirrel. I just saw it and I'm like, yeah, it kind of looks like it's going to fall over. I better explain that to you guys. Your tree's falling. Anyway, I got to get this house decorated for Christmas. It's usually done the first week of November, and I don't have it together. So I am so thankful for things like this, dry mixes for the pantry, because it helps me it helps me feel like I got something put together, like I'm somewhat put together. This is really easy to just whip up. If you have company coming, you can have these ready by the time they show up to your house. It's just a wonderful thing to have in your home. And actually, my dry mixes have saved me so much, and I have refilled them so many times. I'm realizing I'm really falling on them a lot more frequently these days. And I think coming this new year, I am going to have a designated place in my pantry for my dry mixes, and just have a actual dry mix pantry, you guys, because this is so simple and such a time saver. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. I am going to have I'm sorry. I probably should be looking at the camera and talking to you guys. Anyway, I'm going to have a part 2 to this video like I did the pantry mixes that I did previously. Once again, if you missed that video, I'll link it down in the description box below. But I am going to have a follow-up video. We're going to be baking these cookies, all of the dry mixes, going to kind of try to keep it simple and to the point, and take you guys along and share just how easy these are to make up, what the end results look like. If you go into my previous videos from a while back, I have a video on my chocolate chip cookies. I have a video on my sugar cookies. I actually think I might have a video on all of these except my molasses cookies, to be quite honest. But it was so long ago, there's so few views. I feel like those are hidden and nobody really goes back to the old videos. So nonetheless, I am going to do a compilation of all these dry mixes, so it's all in one place and you don't have to search around for it, but feel free to check those out if you'd like to. I must say, there was a comment that was lost and I cannot find it for the life of me. And I searched for like 30 minutes before. Somebody had asked, do you have any high altitude recipes? And they live at a high elevation. I think maybe they said 6,000 feet, something like that. I don't know. I want to say this to everybody. I am up in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. I am at about 7,600 feet elevation. Any recipe you see on my channel, any recipe, you don't have to tweak it to make it high altitude. Every single recipe on my channel not only will work for any elevation, but it will work for high altitude. So once again, I'm 7,600 feet. I know these work for much higher elevation too. So I just want to stress that. If you are like, I live at a high elevation, how do I make these high altitude friendly? They're good. They're good as is. Any recipe I ever post. So if you are at high altitude and you are struggling with baking and cooking, oh my gosh, when we lived in Florida, I could make anything all day long. When I moved here, I just wanted to cry because I love cooking and baking and everything had to be tweaked and it drove me nuts. It took a lot of years to figure everything out and refigure things. But if there's any recipe you want to know, hey, I want to make this, I have not found a high altitude recipe, drop it in the comments box down below. I will get back to you and I will definitely get some videos up there for high altitude recipes. I feel like a lot of my recipe videos sometimes are hit or miss how well they do, so I try not to do recipe videos all the time because I don't think that's what everybody's here for. I try to make a pretty good mix of everything so it balances out. But I have no problem getting some high altitude recipes out there for you guys if you are struggling and you want to find a recipe that works at high elevation. So all that said, I am going to get moving. I have some dishes to do behind me. We have to eat lunch. And then I told my daughter I'd take her down the hill. She wanted to get a pedicure for her birthday, and we had snow. Don't have my snow tires on my car yet. The snow is melting. The roads are decent, so I need to go take her and go get that done for her birthday. And then my son's birthday is in 2 days, November 12th. So actually, today is my dog's birthday. Happy birthday, Ellie, wherever you are. I'm going to have to make her a treat or something. Anyway, I will see you guys on the next video. I hope this video was helpful. If you like these type of videos, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any questions whatsoever, once again, everything's going to be in the description box. And if you need further instruction, I will do my very best to have that video out. If not tomorrow, then Tuesday. That is my hopes here, that it will be out by Tuesday. So I'm going to get going. I have a lot to do today. I have a Christmas tree to fix before it does fall down and my cats climb in it. And everything just goes, it's crazy. It's been crazy this whole past week. So I am going to get caught up on my to-dos. I will see you guys on the next video. Until then, take care and God bless.